cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, you guys.
Cheers to you.
Welcome to
Creative Happy Hour,
where we get drunk.
on the creative possibilities.
Yes, we do. Every week.
Every week.
Every
We
week.
do.
Every week with you bitches, our creative
Hey.
bitches. Yes. So today we are drinking something fabulous. We're going to tell you all about it because we are talking about
Living in the now.
living
Being in the now.
in the now, living in the moment, living in the now, and how to be present and what that does to your creativity and why it's super important to live in the now, not in the past, not in the
Not
future,
in future.
in the present,
In the right here and now.
in the right here and now. So we are drinking a concoction. It is cava from Spain, and it has pomegranate seeds in the cava. They're kind of bubbling up, floating up. Look, we're gonna
And
hold it up.
they're
It's
having their moment.
They're having their moment. See, they each have their moment where they can shine, and each pomegranate seed is an opportunity to savor this little seed, this little packet of goodness.
This little moment.
Yeah, this little moment. And actually, they said that pomegranate is the #1 most mindful food to eat because it's such a process.
It is such a process.
To, peel it and to enjoy it and to cut,
love
right?
pomegranates.
So good. So good. Pomegranates are such a, like in every mythology, pomegranates
Yeah.
are so, significant of power and everything else. And I think that when you live in the now, you get some creative power.
Yeah, you tap
that
into
goes with
a
that,
creative
right?
power for sure when you live in the now.
Exactly. So the minute I told you about the power of now, first we're going to taste this. But yeah, first we're going to
I'm
taste
like,
this.
can we taste
Screw that.
it already?
Let's drink it. Cheers again.
Right now.
Let's taste
Here
it
we
right
are.
here and now. Let's do it. I'm savoring the little seeds.
Oh my gosh, and the kava is so like dry and
Right?
effervescent. And
Very nice. Very nice. I'm like eating. I'm like, wait, I don't want to do anything else right now.
I know, right? I just want to savor that.
savor this.
So delicious.
It's so good. So there was an experiment. Okay, this is the best. Before we talk about the power of now, the book by Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah, because everybody's heard about it.
Because everybody's heard about it, especially Micah. I was like, you read it, right? Because I didn't. I did the Wikipedia version.
Yeah.
And got guilted into like donating to Wikipedia. They're like, you must donate. I'm like, but I was like, not now. Wikipedia, not now. Not now. They're like, right now. They're like, right now. They're like, don't skip this. Do it now. I was like,
oh God.
they know what I'm thinking. This is terrible. But
Oh wow.
yeah. So the pomegranate, I kind of laughed because there was an experiment that they did on people who they told them to eat a raisin, and you hate raisins.
I hate raisins. I love grapes. I love wine. I do not like raisins.
You don't
I
like
don't
raisins
even
because they waited too long to get
I
eaten.
don't tolerate raisins. They're disgusting.
Right? I like raisins. I don't mind raisins, but they told people to savor these raisins and really enjoy the texture and everything else. And then they told these people that they were forming a creative group, kind of like a club thing. And that they said, oh, you've not been accepted by the others.
Oh.
And the people who had tasted that raisin and really been in the moment were like, that's okay.
That's okay.
And
My
the
blood
ones-
sugar's really high right now. I don't
Right.
care.
And then the ones who hadn't savored the raisin were
They're
like,
the ones that hate raisins.
yeah, that too. So what they did is then they did another experiment right after it that the people thought was a separate experiment. And they had this high-pitched sound that would really hurt somebody's ears. And the people who'd been rejected, who hadn't enjoyed the raisin, were like, to like traumatize everyone, just kind of exerting their revenge on the world
Oh my God.
in the here and now. But that's a really interesting experiment that if you are enjoying
Yeah.
your here and now.
Well, it's interesting that, not only did they not savor the moment, but then they got rejected from the group and then they had insult to injury. And so you're saying that insult to injury is
They remember the past.
exacerbated. Yeah.
Yes.
So
And then they're like, in the future, they're like, ooh, let me add to their
Yeah.
pain. So that was
Ooh.
pretty interesting. Yeah. And so that kind of adds into the other experiments that say that when you're really in the now
yeah.
and really experiencing your senses, and that's kind of something that a lot of creatives really do, things that appeal to the senses.
Yeah.
Whether it's visual or whether it's musical or whatever, cooking or what have you,
Yeah.
like that's what the arts and creativity do.
Yeah.
That is where true joy comes from, is from really enjoying that sensual stuff. I'm like, that's fascinating. And also, you become part of a greater whole.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So-
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I mean, if you're not practicing in the now, then, and I say practicing because I feel like you do kind of have to practice
Right.
telling yourself, okay, I'm shutting my phone off, or
Yes.
I'm going to spend this hour doing this thing, or I'm going to go to this yoga class, or I'm going to go to
Yes.
this painting class, or I'm going to go to this ceramics class, or whatever it is. And I'm going to just be there in that class, in that moment. And, you know, my best yoga classes are the ones where I don't look at the clock.
Right, exactly.
And I just...
Right, and that's the flow. That's
Yeah,
when you get into the flow state.
and you're like, okay, I'm dying. Someone kill me. This hurts really bad.
Well, no, not exactly. Because
I'm
the flow state
breathing.
has to be where it's just enough to keep you engaged
Yeah.
without
But
you
there's-
wanting to get the hell out.
Yeah, but there are moments where you do a pose and you're like, okay, I can do this. And then there's ones that are a little harder, or
Right.
you're more pent up.
Well, yeah, or where you have to be present in order to
Right.
keep doing it, and you realize that you're not fully present.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where mindfulness is, and you were talking about the practice, and I think that you practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is not something that you're perfect at, and it's also not something that you should plan for, because that's
No,
the
you
opposite
practice
of being
it
in the moment.
in anything you do. Like, okay, I'm going to focus on this right now.
Yes.
You know, it's like, you know, I was telling my daughter she's preparing for an audition to get into a high school.
Which
and,
means very much looking towards the future, but trying to quiet that part of your mind.
But having the discussion of like, okay, well, the audition is 1 or 2 minutes. You can do anything for 1 or 2 minutes. And thinking about like breaking things down into segments.
Yes.
You know, and learning that technique is like, okay, I'm
Let
not
me
gonna
be completely in
Yeah,
it right
like,
for that moment.
look at it as, okay, I'm not going to spend all my time freaking out about 2 minutes.
No.
I'm going to prepare for it. I'm going to be in those 2 minutes.
Yes.
And I'm not going to worry about the outcome.
Absolutely. And so that's kind of the theory of Eckhart Tolle's, you know, The Power of Now, which is that if you're sitting there dwelling on the past, that's not good for you. It doesn't have any productive...
You don't have any control over that.
Well, you have no control, but also there's no productive outcome to that.
Right.
You know, that's no good. And then if you are dreading the future, you can't control the future. You have no idea. So the here and now is just that one thing that you actually can somewhat control.
Right.
And that if you focus on just that, you're going to be a lot more effective, and you're going to be a lot better. And so you then... Which I was like, oh my God, she's so smart. You're like, happy hour. That's what we do here.
Well, that's
at
the whole
Creative
point.
Happy
Yeah,
Hour.
that is what we do at Creative Happy Hour. So we allot 1 hour of time
Yep.
to be in the moment. And I mean, as you know, my life is crazy. Your life is crazy. I'm always like doing this, doing that, coming from work, rushing. But when we're in this moment doing this thing, we are in this moment and we're not on our phones. We're not, you know.
Except when my daughter tries to call and write her thing, which is really fun.
Or I'm like stressing out about getting to ballet or whatever.
Right. But that's where you
then,
can. But that's where you can feel when we are in those moments. That's when you can feel that our flow is interrupted, and I think that our listeners can tell the difference.
Right.
They really can, and I know because since I edit this stuff,
right?
Like I
can tell when we're doing that.
I can tell completely.
Well, but I think what we're doing, and I think we're getting better at doing it, is the practice is you create a parameter.
Yes.
And then you insert yourself into that parameter.
Completely.
And the you know, the parameter for us is happy hour.
Happy hour.
And
we know we're going to get rewarded, and that there's something to really focus on and enjoy as we taste our drink. Like, I think that our whole thing of tasting the drink and kind of thinking about the qualities of what we're enjoying, that kind of eases us into that time. But it's funny because remember a while back we had somebody who was sitting in the studio when we started recording, and we're like frantic, and we sat down, and then we turned on, and she said afterwards, she said, oh my God, the energy in the room changed.
Yeah, it
the
does.
minute you know, we started filming, she's like, wow, it's
we're
like
in Creative Happy Hour.
Like we're in
Creative
Creative Happy Hour. So I thought that was very cool.
Yeah.
And I think that what helps us in Creative Happy Hour, and this is another lesson for creatives, is that when you're in it and you're focusing on it, and you can kind of have that playfulness with it because you're not, you know, you've let go of the anxieties that you have.
Yes.
And then you can play and just slightly, like, we are usually kind of scripted where we know what we need to say.
Right. We have a general script.
We have a general script, general structure, but we're able to play within that.
We have the ability to improvise. and to bring in anecdotal stories and things that occur to you and to expand on a topic.
And that's more enjoyable, I think, for us and for people.
Which goes again with the happy hour,
yes.
creative happy hour, because
yes.
you're creating the conversation, the connection,
yes.
and the approach all at the same time in the moment.
Yes, and you're in the moment. And so there was another psychotherapist who was talking about an experiment where people in an orchestra were told that they would really, concentrate on what they were doing, and they could just improvise, like change a tiny little thing,
right?
Have a little bit of fun while they're playing, and the audiences were asked what they thought when that happened, and the audience can really tell. The musicians had more fun,
right?
And the audience also had much more fun, was like, wow, this is really special, and they can tell. So I think that that's a really important creative lesson is, get into that zone and really make that a goal to try to be in that now,
right?
Because if you do that, your art, your creative output is going to be that much better.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, for example, the startup or the company that is really based on the experience of the team and the people working together and the creative process of coming up with a great product and of, making all of that as good as it can be, they are going to be so much more successful than the company that's thinking about the past and mistakes that they made, and then thinking about the bottom line and thinking about, profits, but, all that stuff like that. You can tell.
Well, it's somewhat of a feedback loop.
Totally.
Yes. It's a feedback loop. Yeah. So if you're constantly worried and you're living in some kind of like, oh, we have to make this much money. And, I think everything should have a goal.
Goals are great.
But they can't interrupt the moment all the time. You have to remember that the goal is more of a parameter, right?
Totally. And that's something important. Like, when you're in the now, that doesn't mean, so many people think that mindfulness or meditation is emptying your mind, right?
Right.
And that is absolutely not true. Like, you are gonna have thoughts, you're gonna have these things coming to you, and an important thought to have is, how do I feel about where I am right now?
Right.
How am I impacted by what happened before and what I perceive to be happening in the future? Like, observe that, and then try to kind of let it go to where it's not completely frazzling.
Yeah, I mean, they talk about the observer mind.
Yes, the observer mind. That's exactly right. That's like the opposite of the monkey mind.
Right. The observer mind is like, okay, yeah, I get that, I'm worried about that.
Yes.
That, presentation that I have to do. And it's like, the monkey's in there like, pay attention to me. And
well, let's worry about this instead. Let's worry about that instead.
And it's like, the observer mind will say, yeah, I know you're there, little monkey. Just settle down. We'll get
little monkey.
We'll get there when we get there.
Exactly.
And I think that, as I get older, I mean, one of the things that I do to really be in the moment is, if I have some things like, I got to do this and I got to do that, I go and I make a list.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. And making a list is a great way of...
It's like, okay, you get it out of your brain, then you can focus on what you need to do.
Totally, and you can be like, I know I need to worry about this, but I don't need to worry about it right now.
I don't need to worry about it in loops. I don't need it looping around my brain. Like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this.
Right.
And it's like, no, get it out of your mind, put it on paper.
And also, sometimes the now that you need to do is not that fun now.
Right.
Sometimes the now that you need to do, when you've got that thing grinding, like, be in the now enough that you can be like, you know what?
I need to move that out of my life.
Address that. Yeah, like, I need to do that. How long is it going to take me to do that thing that's driving me nuts? Maybe I should just do it now because it's impacting me in so many ways. It's impacting my sleep.
Taking away my energy.
Taking away my energy, taking away my creativity, taking away my concentration. And all of those are things that you just don't need in your life, So that's, as a creative, I think that, we tend to, as creative, I mean, I don't know. I think as creatives, I think we tend to look towards the future a lot. But you have a term for that, right?
I call it future tripping.
Yeah, future tripping, which is really...
you're future tripping on this right now.
Yes.
And I think that's kind of what the whole premise of this podcast today is about, is don't waste your energy, your creative energy, or the energy that you could use creatively to future trip, and don't ruminate on the past.
No, rumination sucks. I mean, I know so many smart people who sit there and they ruminate and they're like, oh my God, this happened. And so in front, like, you do realize that you're the only one giving this power. Like, it doesn't have, like, it is in the past.
Yeah, and if you're someone who ruminates, I have friends that are, like that, introverts tend to be a little more because they don't take social risk as much.
Right.
So they
That's
tend to ruminate on things that they said or
right,
interactions
and
that
beat
they
themselves up about something.
Yeah, and they
like,
will.
dude,
And I've had many of my introverted friends tell me that they do this, and I'm like, and so if you know you're somebody that does that, go to someone who doesn't do that or is more extroverted and tell them that you're doing that, and they will tell you, oh, nobody cares, nobody pays attention.
Well, I was reading something actually written by an introvert who was like, oh my God, I'm such a crappy dancer. And I'm so embarrassed because when I go to a party and I'm a really bad dancer, I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking to myself, nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody's even looking at you.
But then this person justifies it by being like, yeah, but actually, if nobody cares, why the next day? Why do people tease me about being a bad dancer? And I'm like, well, I think that's probably more about the fact that they see you ruminating about it and bring it up. Like, that's the thing. My son is always like, he uses that as, he's like, oh, well, yes, people do notice that. I'm like, well, do you notice? Like, if you want to be in the now, if you're in the now, you're going to be a lot more self-aware, not self-conscious, self-aware, where you're going to be like, maybe I call attention to this all the time.
Right.
Maybe I do that so much that people obviously interact with that because that is what I'm focusing on. Right. And so what you focus on is what people focus on as well. So if you're focusing on your art or you're focusing on your creativity or you're focusing on your product, well, people are going to focus on that. If you're focusing on what you said to your ex-boyfriend 10 years ago, like, people are going to be like, wow, that's...
Yeah, you might want to let that go.
Yeah, maybe there's nothing else going on in there now. And then people start to make assumptions about you, which, you can care or not care about. I think that's, kind of an interesting...
We just see that, and I am super guilty of it. I've done it in the past. I've done it in the now. I've done it in the future where I've been in times of my life where I ruminate.
Yeah.
Where I'm in a loop and I can't get out of analyzing whatever it is.
But at least being conscious that you are in a loop is kind of a really great thing. Like, that's step one, I think, in being able to truly be in the now. Like, you actually are. Like, oddly enough, that loop becomes your now.
Yeah.
And then
it's
when
just
you
like,
can
what am I doing?
Yeah, exactly. And then you can address it and be like, am I happy with my now?
Yeah.
Then
Recalibrate.
Recalibrate. Yeah.
And you can even, sorry, God, the wine, and I'm like, ooh, and you're the like, food, and I'm sleeping. I
know. We get that happy hour thing where we're like,
yeah.
Like, we drop
you take
that
a breath.
day. You take a breath, and all of a sudden the adrenaline from the day kind of falls away. Yeah. And you're like, ooh, okay, I'm relaxed.
It's crazy how that happens.
It is. Which, it's a nice thing. It's, you know, I'm like, oh, I like that.
I like it too.
Yeah, nice. Right? It's like, but I think that that's a really important thing to know, that if you're not happy with your now, you're not stuck with your now. Like, you're the one who's dealing with your now. You're the one who's perceiving your now.
Yeah, and there's a lot of strategies to change your now. I mean, you can do things that alter your mood. You can take a hot bath.
Totally.
You can use essential oils.
Yes, there's so many tricks. Like, that is, we can talk about that now.
There's all kinds of ways to just like, okay, we're recalibrating.
Yes.
You know, make a cup of tea.
Yes.
Am I hungry? Am I thirsty? Have I drank water today? Have a glass of wine.
Well, we always talk about Mel Robbins because, like, we mocked her, but you know what? Bitch had a point.
I mean,
she's like,
thank you, Mel.
Thank you, Mel. This is a very, like, now moment kind of thing where she's like, count to 5, do that thing right now.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Yeah.
And so that's a way to recalibrate.
Yeah.
And then a funny thing, when you find yourself in that rumination cycle or in that future tripping cycle, they say that, you know, so many people think when they meditate, they're like, oh my God, I need my mantra and I need this. And they worry about how to meditate. And that's not what it is either.
Right.
And so someone suggested, they're like, well, your mantra could just be now, 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 now.
Or bubblegum.
Doesn't matter what it is. Like, it actually doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Just something that's going to take you back
I thought
to
bubblegum.
I know, that's cool.
I thought of it just now.
Right now.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Bubblegum.
Bubblegum's awesome. I love bubblegum. Like, bubblegum's kind of a fun
another kind of like
activity.
Yeah.
It's to blow bubbles because you have to focus on that whole thing, and it's kind of fun
well,
and
it
silly.
always loses its flavor pretty fast. So it's a very it's a fleeting thing.
Yeah, and the bubbles, and it gets tougher and tougher, so then your bubbles become less
your jaw
awesome,
hurts.
And then, So it's kind of fun, but you don't anticipate. Usually when you start chewing gum, you're not like, oh, it's going to lose its flavor right now. You're just kind of having
you get like, woo, it's like bursting in your mouth.
The burst of flavor. Like, yeah, that's so nice. And I think that that's wonderful. So so things, a burst of flavor, like eat a pomegranate, like do that thing that you have to focus on, or peel an artichoke, do an artichoke, or do, like these mindful moments and mindful food or mindful activities.
Yeah, peel an orange.
Peel an orange. An orange is another one of the mindful foods. They talked about knitting or crocheting.
Oh, very much in the moment.
I mean, that's a super in the moment flow kind of activity, because sometimes, you know, when you have an activity like painting or something like that, that takes talent or judgment, like that's when you don't get in the now as easily because you're worrying. But
I don't have any talent or judgment, and I paint all the time.
Well, you kind of paint like you knit. I find that you paint.
I do.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that's awesome because you don't worry that much about being representational.
I don't.
And I think that that's freeing. For me, I'm in that decorative painting kind of shtick, which is more of an illustrator thing, which I've said before is more of a craft than an art. You know what I mean? It's a different type of thing. You're very free in that, and you're able to be. And I think that when you're a creative also, you need to know, just because you're a creative doesn't mean that you can be free or be in the now in every single realm.
In every single realm.
Find
Yeah, exactly.
what works for you and know what tricks you out where you're like, oh, I'm not in the now, and I'm worrying about the past. I'm worrying about what people said about what I did, or I'm worrying about what people are going to say about what I, you know, like that's not in the now. So
well, it's not a place to practice being in the now necessarily. Or you can challenge yourself to be like, you know what? I'm going to paint this, and I don't give a shit what people think.
And I'm going to try not to have any judgment on it.
Yeah, I'm just going to do my best work, and I'm going to trust that it's going to be okay.
Totally. I like that a lot. But so you talked about some activities to bring you back to the now. So we had the art activities. You had the breathing, the tea.
Yeah, I do tea. I do hot baths.
Anything ceremonial.
Yeah, I like candles.
Yes,
I definitely like candles. And in fact, I like candles when I take a bath.
I love that.
Or I like candles, take a bath, and bring a glass of wine with you.
Oh, those three things are all ceremonial and wonderful. And I like a fire. Like when I can, I like to light a fire. I mean, candle and fire is the same type of thing. Like it's very primal.
Well, yeah, it brings you back to your elements.
It really does.
Get back to your elements.
Like the water and the air.
Yeah.
So I had nightmares. We both slept very bad. Well, you thought you slept
apparently,
badly,
according to my
your
Fitbit,
Fitbit,
I got an 80%, which is a pretty high score for me.
That's a really high score. Yeah.
And I met the criteria of the time, you know, but I was having all kinds of crazy dreams.
Yeah, I had super nightmares, like anxiety nightmares. It was horrible. And so I really didn't sleep at all. I slept like 2 hours last night, and I was like, shit. The good news is usually right before we shoot the podcast, I sleep on my face, and then I've got like this, I can see when I'm editing that I've got like this bump like here that's all, but this time I didn't sleep. Fresh as a daisy. I can hide the bags with a little bit of concealer. It's fine. So, but
it's fine. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's fine. But so this morning I I get up and I drag myself out, and I'm so tired. And I'm just like, oh my God, I was gonna go on a hike. I'm so tired. And I'm like, you know what? I should just go. The weather sucks. I don't care. I'm gonna not think about how sucky it is. I'm not gonna think about how tired I am. So I didn't think about the fast of the future. I'm like, in the moment. And I get to where I was going on my hike, and it was actually sunny. It was sunny
interesting.
In Fairfax, on top of at Bon Tempe.
Oh yeah, gorgeous.
It was gorgeous and sunny, and I was like,
you're like, thank God I got my ass out here.
Right? Like I was like, okay, I got some air in my lungs. I got, and it just changed everything. And I was in the moment.
That's another in the moment activity is go outside and go for a hike, go for a walk.
The funny thing is, so many times when we're telling you guys advice about what to do to solve a certain creative problem, it's like, go outside. They're like, saying like writer's block, go outside. Go outside. It's really true.
It's really true, and I do it. I wouldn't tell people to do it if I didn't do it myself.
I mean, it's important for you, and we'll go on hikes together. And it's awesome.
I will tell my daughter. I mean, I can't remember what it was that we were doing. It was like we were trick or treating or something, and I said, I don't know what it was. It was some kind of activity where I was going to have to be really involved.
And you were already tripping about it.
And I was like, that's fine. So I ended up doing like a 6 mile. I was like, that's fine. I can do it, but I need to go on like a really long hike. So I go on like some 6 mile hike. And she's kind of laughing in the car with her friend. She was like, my mom had to go on a 6 mile hike
just to deal with this.
Yeah. But I was like, okay, I got my time in, I got my little like downtime for myself. I felt like I was investing in my well-being. And then once I had that,
but it's like money in the bank.
It's totally,
when you spend some time in that zone, and when you spend that time in the now, and when you are in the moment,
again, it's a feedback loop, and you have to think of it that way.
You really do. You have to feel like that is kind of paying into the energy bank. That's paying into the creativity bank. That's paying into your goodwill bank. Like, let's go back to that experiment with the raisins. I mean, think about how much more friendly you felt towards all those fuckers, you know, doling out shitty candy. You're like, I'm not going to tear your face off. Like, that's fine. What do you mean you don't have Reese's? You know?
No, I was very well behaved. I was happy. I was like, I got what I wanted, and I'm happy, and I'm good.
Yeah.
And it's the same. It's like in the morning, I like to have a good 20 minutes to read, drink my coffee before I go and deal with, you know, everybody's saliva spraying on me. You know,
so
it's
that's
like,
good. So that's something where I think that you could almost improve that slightly because, like, let's look at what we're doing. You're anticipating a shitty day. We all do that.
Well, I'm anticipating a day that I don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly. That's what we said, that the future is unknown. And
it's uncertain.
I think that it's healthier for us to anticipate something uncertain, but we all do it where we anticipate the bad stuff.
So the certainty is the little ritual that you create. You know, you
Exactly.
make the coffee, and this morning, you know, I'm guilty. I'm not perfect at the in the moment.
Nobody is. It's a practice thing. It's a practice thing, guys.
So I make the coffee. I didn't grind enough of the coffee, so the coffee was a little bit weak. It was a little gas station-y
but
this
it
morning.
didn't ruin your whole day.
No, but it did set a tone, and then I ended up doing something really bad. Yeah, I was like, I need coffee, and I had already had coffee, but I was like, I'm going to go to the market, and I'm going to get another coffee. So I went and I got coffee for everybody that wanted it.
Nice.
But I also got myself a couple donuts.
Yummy.
And I don't...
Did you enjoy them in the moment?
I don't get donuts, okay?
No.
Yeah, I went back into the staff room like a little secretive drug addict.
Yeah.
And I ate my donut, and I drank some of my coffee, and I was so happy in that moment.
That was so good.
I love that. So good.
And like, if you're gonna, so that's another thing. Like, if you're gonna get the donut, or if you're gonna do that thing that you think is gonna make you happy in the moment, by God, it better make you happy. Like, make sure it makes you happy. And don't guilt trip about it. Don't guilt trip. Like, look, we're having like, oh, I'm halfway through my one, but I like it. I'm gonna reserve myself because you know what? It's yummy, and I'm happy, and I'm living in the moment, and it's nice. I mean, but the funny thing is that sometimes, like, I feel like when you're future tripping, it can be detrimental. But sometimes I feel that planning that moment where you know you're going to be in the now, if you're able to plan those doses of now time. Like, for me, I go through my Monday kind of happy knowing that we're going to have this little now time.
Yeah, this little creative happy hour.
Yeah, like that helps me to deal with anything that's going to come my way. But even anticipating that it's going to be a bad day, but knowing, okay, let me look forward to this.
Yeah, we have this.
We have this, and it's going to be that now. And then I've been dreading going back home and having the family time for Christmas and all that stuff. This episode is probably going to be airing right around that time. And I'm just kind of like, oh my God, it's going to be so much. And we always say how I'm like the secret introvert. And I know that it's like social event, family. I'm like, oh my God, it's going to suck. But we're going to go to North Carolina for like 4 days. Where Joel has
where?
Nothing fun. No, we're going to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're like,
I have relatives in Chapel Hill.
I went to school in Chapel Hill, but I hated it. I called it Chapel Hill.
Oh, did you go to UNC?
I did.
Wait,
because I went to UNC undergrad and I went to Columbia graduate.
I didn't know that you went there for undergrad.
I did. And it was such a culture shock. Like, UNC was the biggest culture shock in the world to me.
Really?
Oh my God. I called it Chapel Hill. Now it's very liberal, but when I went there, it was still very Southern.
That's
it was super,
well, it's interesting because
Greek
I have an
life
aunt who's a dentist, and she was one of the first females to go through the dental program there.
Oh, wow.
So she was really like forward thinking and revolutionary in that field because, and she was so successful as a dentist in Chapel Hill.
Wow, no doubt. I mean, I'm sure, I haven't been back in a really long time, but I'm sure that now it's super like kind of hipster and whatever, but back then.
I mean, last time I was in Chapel Hill, I was probably her age. I was probably 13.
Right. Oh yeah, see?
But
I'm going to Charlotte. And
do you know I applied to UNC for graduate school?
Oh my God. See,
yeah, because I applied to 3 graduate schools. Oh. I applied to Berkeley, UNC, and Boston University.
Okay.
For School of Public Health. And I got into...
UNC has an excellent school.
I know. They're one of the top in the country.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, I did not get in, but I did get into Boston University.
Oh,
Which and I didn't go because it was
Boston.
private.
Well,
no, I wanted.
Hashtag expensive.
I would have, but it was so expensive, and I was like,
Crazy.
you know what?
No.
No.
I originally went to UNC because of the journalism school, which was #1 in the country at that time.
It's an incredible school.
It is a great school. That's where I got started in television. So that's the one good thing, because I very quickly stopped doing the journalism part because I was working for the newspaper, but more in like satire and illustration. Surprise, surprise. And I worked on the TV, on the soap opera. So that was fun. And then I got started in radio while I was on my year abroad. So like that's where I kind of got started and all that stuff. But it was kind of like, it was because of UNC, but it was despite UNC. I was very much a rebel. It was like whatever. But anyway, we're going to Charlotte. There is nothing to do in Charlotte, but I'm so...
Wait, why are you going? Because his company is there? The headquarters?
Yes. And I'm so looking forward because I know no one there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to sit in the hotel bar and basically work on my stuff and zen out and chill out and be in the moment.
There is something about, so we just went to, for Thanksgiving, we went to my cousin's wife family ranch. And I know like her parents, but there's usually like 80 people there at this ranch in Santa Rosa, and I don't really know anyone, and there's a fire, and there's tons of food, and there's an open bar, and it's random.
And tons of food.
It's so random, and you know, sometimes people remember me, but I don't remember them because I'm really lame.
But that's so freeing. That's so freeing.
And I don't have to catch up
I love
with
that.
like some aunt that has an agenda. I don't have to catch up with anybody. I just show up and everyone's like, hi.
I love that.
And you have anonymous conversations.
That's a now party. That is a now party. That's a now
and my
event.
boyfriend, who's a total introvert and freaked out by social situations, he was like, this is fantastic.
See, I get
he,
that.
you know, he loved it.
I get that.
It was really awesome.
See, that's exactly.
Yeah.
So when that's a now party. Like for me, I have a hard time in social situations being in the now because I'm so concerned with, is that person having fun? Are they interested? Are they happy? Are they? Because I always project and hope that, you know, and I'm like, why am I feeling so responsible for this other person? Like, fuck them. And I see other people who are like just having fun, like they don't give a shit. They're like, I don't know anyone here. I'm having a blast. So I always tell my friends, I'm like, come visit me in Virginia. You'll have fun. I'll have a shitty time because I'm gonna be like, future tripping and worried and like, oh my God, last time they came to the party and I feel like nobody talked to this person and then I have to catch up with that person because I didn't, it's like all this, but I'm like, if you know nobody, you're going to have a blast because you'll be in the moment because it's beautiful. The food is good. Tons of people who are like interesting and creative. You're like, oh, this will be great. So I have to approach it. Like, I think that it's never too late. Even if you've had a past, you know, experience of being in creative situations where you felt like you were future tripping or looking at the past. I think it's never too late to actually try to embrace that kind of, we've talked about being the alien at the table, remember?
Yeah, I mean,
be the alien at the table.
I think it's, I mean, for me, it's kind of a fun adventure. I used to kind of, I'd cringe.
Yeah.
Now I kind of, I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll show up by myself and I don't know anyone. I don't even care.
Right.
I'm way more, I guess, risky in that way than I used to be.
I think the risk taking is a very creative thing. We've said that before. That, you know,
it's a fun practice to just show up
and be in the now.
Be in the now because
notice things. If you notice things, like you're gonna have a blast.
And going to a party where you don't know anyone is it's a really good way to practice that because you don't have any reference point.
No, which
you
I
might
love.
know the host, you might know somebody, that's how you got invited.
Yeah.
However, you're not going to be like, oh, Jenny's gonna be there.
Well, there's nothing to worry about.
You don't have to worry about
Yes,
anything.
I love that. Like that's, to me, and that's
like,
something.
I don't know what I'm doing here.
Right, but I think that that's something that you can cultivate. Even if that's not your situation, I think that that's something that you can cultivate and be like, oh gosh, I have no idea.
Right.
And so I think that that as a creative is such a great thing to do.
Yeah.
Same thing with your art. Oh gosh, I had no idea I wasn't supposed to do that then. Or gosh, I had no idea that I was supposed to think that this was worth that much. Or I had no idea I wasn't supposed to play with that material.
Right.
Or I had no idea I wasn't supposed to pitch this product, you know? And I like that. Or I had no idea I wasn't supposed to be in a group with that person, you know? And that is
ignorance
awesome.
is bliss.
Ignorance in the now is bliss.
Yeah.
It is.
It's true.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because when you're in the now, like having that ignorance does free up a lot of brain space, which is nice. I think that that's really good. So we have...
What else do you have on the docket?
I have a bunch of other ways, which we probably said a bunch of them, I'm sure.
Did we?
Brilliant.
Oh, brilliant.
But I have a bunch of ways that you can be in the now. So what does living in the now mean? We've said a lot of this. But living in the now means that ensuring that your awareness is completely centered on the here and now. That's very redundant. Yeah, you're not focused on the future, not thinking about the past. Think about now.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, I think, again, I think it's really about just you practicing it in the moment. I mean, it really does free you up because when you're constantly worried about the past, it's so lame. It's like,
heavy.
okay, oh, well, that's over.
It's heavy. It sucks. But you're the quantum physics girl.
Right.
Come on now. I thought you were going to say it. I was like, Micah's going to say it. Micah's going to say it. In quantum terms,
physics, I mean, I do not have any credentials whatsoever.
You've got a pop culture
my pop culture version is that, the observer is not separate from the observed. So it is anything, that's pretty much like when you listen to physicists talk about particles, whether they're a wave or a particle.
Everything's existing all at the same time.
I think the way I understand it is it depends on your interpretation.
Your point of reference.
Your point of reference. And ultimately, you are... when you're observing something that's doing something, you are part of the experience.
Yes, you are.
So you cannot really, and I've always believed that there's no such thing, personally, there's no such thing as being objective.
No.
You cannot look at something as an observer and say, oh, I observed this and it's a separate thing.
Never.
Your actual participation in observing it has an effect on the
everything.
Outcome.
Well, that's what we were talking about minimalism.
That's the essence, I think, of the quantum.
Exactly. So when we were talking about minimalism, and we're saying that minimalist art was more of a performance piece because it really counted a lot on the observer.
On the context.
And on the context and on everything else. But like the quantum theory of time and space is that like everything exists at the same time and everything. Like, so really all you have is the now, and we're all like, it's all there, and it's all observer based. So where you are and what's happening to you, like that's your only reality for now that you need to worry about. You know what I mean? If you want to worry about another reality, that's fine, but you're wasting your time, you're wasting your energy, and you're not like enjoying what you could be enjoying. Like that's like, when you have infinite possibilities, pick one.
Well, yeah, and then if you get snagged on something, I say snagged because it's like, how many times have you been doing something and your like fingernail gets snagged on something and you're like, oh shit, and you're kind of like caught up in this little particular moment.
Right.
It's the same thing with dealing with other people or dealing with projects or dealing with work or whatever. You're in a moment, and really the thing to do is ask yourself, is that true? You kind of have to separate yourself from the circumstances. Like you're like, oh, my boss hates me and I'm a screw up and I'm gonna get fired and I'm gonna do, and all that might be,
pick one thing. It might be true.
It might actually be true. You might be a complete fuck up and you might be getting fired.
Yeah.
But you have to go back to rational thinking.
Absolutely. And be like, okay, so I'm the fuck up. Why? How do I know?
What did I do? How am I responsible for this?
What can I do anything to address this? Is there anything? I mean, exactly. Break it down into pieces. And that's it. And then
ask yourself, is there anything? I mean, that's really what the serenity prayer is about. Yeah. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom. To know the difference.
That is
wisdom
exactly
to know the
knowing
difference.
The difference.
It's basically, if there's something I can do to address the situation, then do it. Then do it.
And do it now.
If you're being a screw up and you're not showing up, if you're doing, if you know that your project is going amok and you could have done something, do it.
Do it now. And that's the whole thing of doing it now. Like, don't wait. Don't ruminate and don't wait. Like, don't sit there and think, oh gosh, I coulda, shoulda, woulda done that. And that, like, that's not the creative way. That is not what.
And if you're going to spend time ruminating,
then make a pretty piece of poetry.
I was kind of an a-hole and I should have done this, but I didn't. So next time I'm going to do it. Don't spend time, unless
Unless you make a play about it. Or like,
unless you do a play about it, like
poem.
Waiting for Godot.
yeah,
or,
which sucks. I mean, I'm
which
sorry.
is so lame. It
like
makes you
waiting,
wanna-
that's future tripping. Waiting for Godot is like,
Yeah.
and I can't watch that. Like, I get so pissed. It's like the Iceman cometh. Fucking Iceman. Fucking cometh. Fucking Iceman. What the hell? I went to the, I mean, seriously, Iceman cometh. It's like Waiting for Godot without goddamn Godot.
Yeah.
I mean, Godot never comes either.
He never shows up.
Never shows up either.
But
But I
that is
saw-
that is the essence of
It's so
future
bad.
tripping.
It's so bad.
He
I
never
saw
shows
the
up.
one with Kevin Spacey. So this is funny. If we
Kevin
want to
Spacey.
ruminate,
What happened to Kevin Spacey?
right?
Where's
if you wanna
Kevin
ruminate
Spacey now?
into the past.
Yeah,
I
let's.
saw Iceman Cometh with Kevin Spacey. Oh yeah.
That's Twilight Zone.
Right? I mean, my Kevin Spacey thing, actually, this is terrible. My Kevin Spacey story, so we went and saw that. There was this whole story about Kevin Spacey and his past and his future and all this shit. Then Kevin Spacey did that whole charity that's about sending the elevator back down.
Oh God, that's creepy.
Going down. Really, Kevin Spacey? Oh my God.
Really, Kevin?
Really, Kevin? You
That's
not
we
be
should have a
sending-
T-shirt called "Really,
Really,
Kevin."
Like, you should not be sending anything down, Kevin. Like, so bad. But I got my updated engagement ring because of the event with Kevin Spacey, because there was, anyway, long story. Halle Berry's jeweler had given this special prize, which was doing this, and now Halle Berry is now shooting a movie with my friend Lindy's brother, who's a friend of mine. I'm like, what the hell?
You're in
It
some
comes-
kind
I'm
of
in a quantum
you
loop.
are in a quantum loop of some kind of
Right?
crazy shit.
Right? Isn't that weird?
Ooh.
It's like 3 degrees of like freaking Kevin Spacey. I don't know what's going on.
I
It's
love
not-
this.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
Ooh,
Yeah.
we gotta get you a Kevin Spacey T-shirt.
I've seen Kevin Spacey, but I'd rather do the Halle Berry loop. Or Kevin Spacey, Kevin Bacon.
I think Kevin is. I think Kevin is the.
is the thing.
He's
Kevin.
the common
I
denominator.
should just have a T-shirt that says Kevin.
Well, I was telling you about
Kevin-
my friend that
Kevin
I
now.
gave her the T-shirt. So
Oh,
it just
yeah.
says it's like a college
Wine.
T-shirt, but it says wine.
Yes.
Instead of Cambridge, it says wine.
Wine. And my friend Lindy gave me a T-shirt that says "May contain wine." I think that you need to buy yourself the wine T-shirt as well, and then
Yeah.
we're gonna wear them.
Yeah.
Both of us, because in the now we need to do
Yeah,
that.
in the know.
That's a good thing. So okay.
Anyway, we just went
Oh
off on a
God,
tangent.
we went off on a tangent. We have a ton of time. Okay, so we are now gonna give you some actual tips.
Welcome back to the
Welcome
now.
back to the now. We're gonna give you some
I mean,
tips.
we went down like a
Like
dirt
this
road.
weird- We did. We went through the bumpy road.
We went down
But we were
Kevin
experiencing-
Spacey's
Yes.
dressing room.
Oh, and Fiona's joined
Oh,
us. Fiona's
wow.
like, I'm here for you guys, and then
Yeah,
you guys
she's
can't
like-
see her. It's like Schrodinger's cat. She's here, but you can't see her. Is
That's
she here?
right.
You don't
Yeah,
know.
we don't know.
Is Fiona here? You have no idea.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That is a good
Is
question.
Is she in the here now? I don't know.
Everyone
Okay.
can guess. and
Everyone can
there
guess.
could be prizes.
So here are tips to live in the now. Okay. Give your immediate surroundings gentle attention. Gentle.
gentle.
So that is kind of crazy. Accept
I don't-
whatever comes
yeah.
up without tension, judgment, or friction. Hear that?
Okay,
Fiona?
this is some
No
new
friction.
age crazy nonsense.
Okay, but so is Eckhart Tolle and so is Oprah. So I don't know what to tell you. That's the world we're in, Micah. That's what we're like. I mean, much as we like to be just like the creative bitches, we are very woo-woo new age, and we live in Marin County. And
We
so we're
are,
like,
but
"Hi,
basically
I'm
we
present."
would
Okay.
say, you know, like
Notice things.
check your shit.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Check your like
No.
P Diddy.
What-
Check yourself before
Yeah,
you wreck
no,
yourself.
what we say, I think, okay, let's translate that into
Okay.
happy hour ease,
Yeah.
which is, notice things and enjoy things, but don't dwell on anything that's not nice, right? So
Yeah.
I can notice, be like, oh my God, these little pomegranates are so nice.
so
And, like,
nice.
but I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I've got
Oh my God, now my
fingerprints
drink's
on this
warm and I
fucking
have too
glass," and,
many.
like, yeah,
and now
exactly.
yeah.
Try to
Don't
be
get-
positive,
yeah.
bitches. Try to be positive. No friction.
Thank you for the
no
translation.
judgment, right? So it doesn't mean letting things passively pass by you. It's kind of a more, like, it does mean being conscious.
It's acknowledgement.
It's acknowledging.
Like,
yeah.
okay, yeah, that's going on,
Yeah.
but we're not
But I'm
gonna
fine with
go.
that.
We're not getting
Like, I
on
got
that
some
ride.
pomegranate seed in my teeth, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to dwell
I'm not
on
gonna
it.
get on that ride
Well,
right
little,
now.
But yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
So, okay. This is fun. This is a stupid one, but it's fun.
What is it?
Talk to yourself in the present tense. I am now drinking my drink.
Now
It's all in the present tense. I love that though. It's not like
present tense.
it's not like I was really tired or I need to do this. It's like I am.
So my friend used to get emails from her husband. He's now her ex-husband for obvious reasons.
Yes.
But he used to write her letters or emails in the third person.
Like Donald Trump does?
Oh my God. It was like, I would be like, oh my God, I am scared for your life. When I would, third person emails, I was like,
that sucks.
he's mentally ill.
That is mentally ill. Like,
run, don't walk.
See, okay, so third person is a problem. And this is why I think, and I don't, we don't talk politics here, but Trump is a motherfucker because he talks about himself in the third person. It's a big problem because you're completely disassociated from the reality and from the now. Like there's a separation. And I think that when you have a separation, that's a problem. Like
it is because you're
from reality is not cool, right?
Yeah.
So that's really bad.
It is I guess what do you call it? Dressing up like a dictatorship. A little bit.
It's like a dictatorship. It's like completely like a dictatorship. We need a refill of that kava.
It's not even dressing up.
Right? We have a bottle.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Let's do it.
Let me get it.
Get the bottle. Speaking of psycho, I have an admission to make, and I'm going to let this feeling pass and just say
Acknowledge
it. So I read this book the other day, 2 days ago. I finished it. And I was like, this is so good. Like, this book is really well written.
What was it? What book was it?
No.
Did I read it? Oh,
what's more important? Sorry, Found. We're going to acknowledge the feeling of Fiona's bones snapping under your butt. No, it's not what the title is. I'm not even going to tell you. I mean, because judgment.
Come on.
No, who the publisher is. Harlequin.
Harlequin?
And I was like, this is so well written. Oh my God. And that's something important, you guys. That is something important. That don't look at labels. Be in the present. And think to yourself, like, I honestly think this book was very well
written. Give it a chance.
Give it a chance.
Give it a chance.
I'm glad I didn't see who the publisher was because I would have made a judgment and I would not have enjoyed my
You wouldn't have read
present
it. You would have been judgy.
Really good. It was really, really good.
Wow.
It was really good. I was like, shit. Okay, that was really good. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to start reading a bunch of the books, but
well,
whatever.
I don't know.
I'm not going to judge. Not going to judge. Okay. So here's a funny thing. So, okay, talk to yourself in present tense. I'm presently reading a Harlequin romance. Not a romance. There's a book. Okay. Present tense.
Wow.
Good. Third person, present tense, good. Third person, bad.
Third person is bad. Creepy as hell.
Shit. Okay. So don't think that life will happen some other day or that your goal is still to come around the corner. This distracts you from taking action now. And that's what you said. Like, if something's really kind of grating on you and bothering you, like, take action.
Yeah.
No.
Say the Serenity Prayer.
Yes, exactly. We put up a Serenity Prayer on our Instagram that was like, give me coffee for the give me tequila for the things that I cannot change and coffee for the things that I can. I was like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's.
But yeah, do shit now. Like, do the Mel Robbins 5 seconds. Like,
go brush your teeth, floss your teeth,
girl wash your face.
Girl wash your face.
I'm not going to talk about her right now because I'm in the now. I'm going to let that feeling pass. I'm going to let that thought flitter past, and I'm not going to talk about girl
So my boss just told me about, there's like this new website where you can read, like, it's essentially like Cliff Notes of books.
I know.
I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, no, I know.
And he was like, I just read 25 books.
Yeah.
And I was like, do not brag to me because you did not read 25 books.
But he kind of did.
And I'm kind of pissed
You're like, but he kind of did.
And I was like,
it's not the 4 minute. What's it called? It's like the 4 minute. No, 1 minute. Something like that. Like a time thing, and it's like all the self-help books.
No, it's not self-help. It's like all books.
It's like Cliff Notes. Really? Oh, that's not as good. I like putting the self-help books into a 4 minute
different.
format.
I mean, there are books that like Girl Wash Your Face should have been. That should have
2 minutes. 2 minutes would have been enough. 2
minutes.
Well, actually, okay, give her 2 minutes and give us like 10 minutes to laugh at her. Like, that would have been good. That's a good balance.
Yeah, 12 minutes. That's all we needed.
12.
Basic math.
That's,
no, like, but, he's like, oh, yeah, I read this. And I'm like, you did
you
not
didn't
read a book.
You're like, you did not read War and Peace, asshole.
Yeah. I'm like, every time he talks to me about it, and he starts laughing because he knows how pissed off I get.
You're like, you didn't read
I was
that.
like, you are basically, you're basically like disrespecting the author.
He read all of Proust in like 5 minutes, right?
Well, you can.
Whereas we laughed at the questionnaire for like an hour.
What
Whatever,
is
it's
Proust
fine.
about?
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. So take action now. That's fine. We know this. And I think that that's really useful, right? Okay, here's another thing. We said this. See, so many of these things. Live in the now, though. Listen to us and just be like, you guys are awesome.
This is the,
we're recapping.
what do you call it?
This is the recap. This is the recap. This is like the actual thing where you can
The
just
recap, nightcap,
fast
whatever you want to call
forward
it.
to the recap, nightcap, the nightcap, recap. Don't try to quiet your mind. When you try to quiet your mind, you're just freaking out more, right? Because you're judging yourself. You're like, I need to quiet my mind. I need to be like,
No,
and then
that's
you're all
when you
freaked
need
out.
to do one of those activities like, I
Get in
think
the
I need
zone.
to get in the
to-
bath.
I need to get in
think
the
I
bath.
need to.
Yes. You know,
I
my
need
name
to,
is
like-
Simon. Yeah, I like to make jewelry.
I think I need to make a cup of tea.
Yes.
You
I
know-
love that. I love that when you do like, you're like, let me
These are
just...
alternative
cut.
game changers.
Yeah, game changer. It's like a direction changer.
Yeah.
To like jump into the
Oh, we're going to make a left turn down this road.
Totally. Or like move
We're gonna
into a
change the
different space.
scenery.
Change the scenery. I like that. Like I will, if I'm working at my desk and I'm like, meow, freaking out, like I'll go and I'll come and sit on the sofa. Fiona follows me everywhere, so there's still that constant. She's still freaking me out. But I can kind of change those sensations of like, like your neck starts hurting and you start ruminating on this thing and it's like, okay, switch it up. Switch it up. How do what's the physical cue I can give myself? Or if you're working on a painting and you can be like, oh, let me put this down. Or you're working on a knitting, you're like, I'm going to put that down.
Yeah.
Work on something else.
something else.
Do something
I'm
else.
going to do the dishes. I'm going to do something mindless.
Or even switch, like you can just switch projects.
Right.
Like, and I think, I love when creatives have a lot of things going on. Like Linda has a ton of paintings going on and she's like, I'm sick of this one. Let me put it away. We're going to
do another one.
I'm knitting this thing. I'm going to put that away and knit this
I'm
other,
going to do something else.
Do something else.
Yeah.
I think that's great because I think that people like this is where writers end up with a bigger problem than a lot of people.
Yeah.
This is why I focus on writers because they are in the now and then they start ruminating.
I mean, if you want,
Ruminating?
but if you want to read like something in the now, like I'm super into Patti Smith.
Mm-hmm.
All of her books are like, they're all
They're immediate.
They're stream of consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
I just read
love
one
that.
called Wool Gatherers. Wool Gatherers?
Ooh, you've
Wool
been
Gatherers?
just like
Yeah, I've been doing a deep dive
I
into
like
Patti
it.
Smith.
doing a deep dive is a very in the now
And
thing.
it's based on her being a child and seeing these seeing into another realm essentially.
See, she's so good. I need to read that one. I think she's so good.
I'll give it to you. It's like 20 pages or something.
See, that's what I love about her though, is that she is very in the now.
It's stream of consciousness.
It's stream of consciousness, but she breaks it into pieces. She's not like, she doesn't need to put everything into that one book.
She frames it.
And she frames it like she's like, this is this moment.
Yeah.
I'm doing this moment. I'm doing this thing, this element. And that's a great thing as a creative. You don't need to put it all into that one work.
Yeah, I mean,
do it now. Make it
Just
immediate.
Kids, all about her relationship with Mapplethorpe.
Yeah.
If you would love that book so
yes.
much. And it is essentially a moment in time. It's like a picture that she took.
I love that.
Of that
and
moment.
To me, that's great art. Like that's that snapshot.
It's so good. And she actually is really into taking Polaroids. She takes Polaroids wherever she goes.
That's a very now art form.
And
right?
she's done gallery
Yeah.
where she just does her Polaroids.
I have a book of her Polaroids, actually.
Oh, she's such a badass.
Yeah. And that's a Polaroid is a great now thing. I think
totally.
Because we are so in this generation of Photoshop and framing
filtering
filtering things. A Polaroid is a great exercise in now. If you're a photographer or a painter or a writer, get yourself a Polaroid.
Yeah. And go out and just have it with
shit.
you.
Yeah.
And just take Polaroids and be in the now.
And it doesn't mean do any shit, because so it's funny. I was listening to a comedian talking about how they're like, yeah, we used to have these cameras and you wouldn't take 50 pictures, you take one.
Oh.
But you didn't know exactly how it would turn out.
Right.
So it's a really great exercise of it's not throwing away the moment. The moment's still really important.
It already happened.
It's doubly important because you're photographing this one thing and you're not going to have a million chances. You're going to capture it. But then you get what you get and you don't get upset, right? You get that picture back after waiting and after getting it developed and you're like, okay. And then you have that analysis. And I think that's really cool. That's a fun exercise,
I mean, that is really, I mean, in a nutshell what we're talking about.
That is exactly what we're talking about right now. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this
Get
is
with the program, people.
get with the program. So here's another interesting thing. Don't identify with your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. Too often we identify ourselves with our thoughts. We tend to do that. We're like, I'm thinking that is reality. Don't identify yourself with your thoughts. Like that's the thing that we're trying to say, that you can control your now. You are not your thoughts. So if you're having these crazy monkey brain thoughts, you can stop it.
I can't do this because of that.
Right,
and I'm
right,
too
right, right.
broke. And
Yeah.
I'm too fat.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I'm like, my skin is broke out.
Right.
And
You're constructing a reality.
And I'm so hungry.
Right.
And I didn't drink any water today.
Right.
And
But
I'm just
yeah,
giving
but
you a rundown of what went through my head today.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
ate 2 donuts, and why did I do that?
But you enjoyed the fuck out of those
I
donuts.
did. They were
See?
so
See?
good.
We just reframed that. See how that is? See how a good friend can help you reframe?
Yeah,
as
reframe.
well. But also, a good friend can help you reframe, but be a good friend to yourself. Freaking be that good
Reframe.
friend where you can reframe in,
I mean,
right
don't
away.
give yourself the excuse to eat 2 donuts every day. That's
No, not every
unacceptable behavior.
day, perhaps.
However,
But if you really enjoy those 2 donuts, I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So we said practice mindfulness, and we're like, this isn't a requirement. It's mindfulness is a requirement, but it's not something. Again, people are like, they feel guilty. I'm not being mindful. I'm not being mindful, and mindfulness has become this like.
let me
keyword.
punch you in the face, and then
Mindfully.
you can
Yeah.
really like get into the moment.
Yeah. Well,
So
here's
when your
what
friend talks about mindfulness like that, just punch him in the face.
That's what I think is a problem, because I like the idea of mindfulness is fair and valid and good, but it's become such a catchphrase that whenever I hear it, I want to punch somebody in the face. I agree with that.
I sense
It's
a lot of
instantaneous.
violence
I know.
from you when you talk about
I didn't eat my
mindfulness.
raisins. I didn't eat my raisins. No, it's true. I have this weird thing because I think mindfulness is such a catchphrase, and that it doesn't mean anything to anyone.
Yeah,
And that's the thing, like put meaning into your now.
Yeah, I almost got into a fist fight with my daughter's 4th grade teacher because
See?
he was forcing mindfulness.
Oh.
And I would get these emails called mindful or meditation meltdown. Yeah. And I was like, check it out, buddy.
Check it out, bitch.
I was like, this is not school curriculum.
No.
You cannot jam this down anyone's throat.
No.
And it almost borders on prayer in school. So check it out.
I agree with you.
Check it out.
That's the thing, yeah.
He's like, it's not religious. I was like, it actually comes from Buddhism.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
you,
as does the power of now.
yeah. However,
So
I was like, I'm not fundamentally against.
we're the
Any of it.
Illuminati. We're fine with it. We're
I'm
good. Yeah.
not fundamentally against it,
Mhm.
but do not force people to do it. Like,
Absolutely not.
do not
No.
ruin my day because you are trying to create some agenda with, you know,
Yes.
it's too
Yeah.
agenda
No.
driven.
Exactly. So your now, there should be no agenda in your now. This is the
No,
whole
it
thing
can't.
of like,
It can't be.
right. It's like, and that's what we talked about with minimalism. This is what we talked about with the slow thing. This is what we talked about with the multi-passion. Like, take the agenda out, make it pure freedom of just experiencing the thing in it, and your creativity is going to
Blossom.
shine. It's going to blossom. So, okay, they had another piece of advice. Look at the pretty flower. Speaking of blossom, look at the pretty flower. Yes, it's pretty. What's pretty about it? And I was like,
Ooh.
but
Challenge of the day.
challenge of the day, people. But I think that that's true of like, okay, we're drinking this. And
They pop in your mouth like they pop in your mouth like little caviar.
Right.
And if you're not somebody who eats caviar, that's fine.
Imagine
This is
something
vegan.
else.
This is vegan caviar.
Last time you were like, this is like a fruit scallop. I was like, I
Oh
love
yeah,
that.
remember
I
that?
love that.
Oh
But
my
I-
god, that's so
It's a
weird.
fruit
I have like the vegan version.
You have the vegan version of everything.
Yeah.
But I think that that's
But
really
I'm not
nice.
a vegan.
No, but I think it's really nice when you are in the moment to free associate, to not think of like what you have to think, to not put things into this like religious realm or this definition realm, and just experience like what's pretty about it, what's tasty about it, how is it different.
Well, you
and
don't need to be
kind of
ambitious.
brainstorm.
You don't need to be ambitious
No,
about
be free.
mindfulness.
Be freaking free, and don't think you're not being creative enough with how you're experiencing it. And you don't need to have the like tantric experience of this whole thing every time. That's not what we're saying. We're saying enjoy.
We're saying if you do want to
Enjoy.
have a tantric experience,
feel free.
Please
We're going to have that episode.
Call us because we want to hear all about it.
We want to hear every detail
Of your
every
tantric
second
experience.
of it. Yes, all of it. Okay, so then
Details.
details. We love details. And speaking of details, so when you are experiencing and noticing something, like all of the details, like, you know, the color, the texture, the smell, the emptiness, the sense of emptiness.
Feeling empty.
Feeling empty. But with my writers, like, I feel that the ones who can observe all of those little things and who observe the minutia, like, I think that's wonderful. I don't want them to stay stuck in it, but I think that's fabulous to stay in that moment. And then, but then to have that kind of open feeling where you're like, I don't need to stay dwelling in it right now.
I mean, I think Patti Smith is like the freaking queen
I'm so downloading.
Oh my God,
like, 3 of her books, like, right now.
Just Kids.
Yes.
You will freaking lose your
I'm doing
mind.
it. I'm doing
But
it.
actually, what was the other one that I read?
The one you were mentioning today.
Oh yeah,
That's the
Wool
one-
Gathering.
yeah, that's what
I
I
have
wanna
it.
get.
I'll give it to you.
Oh, okay, good.
I had to
but
order
I want it
it.
now. I want it now.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Here. Okay. More advice. Do things slowly. Good. we do
Advices.
this. Advices.
Yeah.
Advices.
Slowly.
Do things slowly. So slow. I said that our slow. This enters
Slow and
into the
steady
slow
wins a
thing.
race.
It does. Be slow. Be, mindful. Leave space between different projects that you have. So you can alternate between projects. You can alternate between appointments. You can pack your day, but have some space in there. Space to breathe. Space to, like, kind of not
Space to
freak
walk.
out.
Space to bathe.
Space to have those little, that little, kind of your tea and your fire and all that ritual. I think that it's nice
and
to
don't
have.
make excuses. Like I was talking to somebody
No.
today, and a single male person,
Single male.
no kids, nothing, and I was like, oh, I meant to bring you that book, and he was like, I don't have any time to read, and I'm like,
Oh,
wait a
God.
minute,
Oh,
how do
God.
you not have time to read?
And how do you know that?
How do you not? And then he told me, he was like, it's not that I don't have time, it's that
doesn't want to.
I don't really read. Well, it was that he's like, I'm a vacation reader. It's like a thing that I do when I'm on vacation.
Well, it's fun to know, but he should probably make his real life like more like his vacation, because I'm thinking that, like, having that differentiation is.
He was like, people that read are like, that's their, and I was like, their escape.
Oh,
And he was
was
like,
their vacation?
yeah. And,
Okay.
yeah, and I was like, okay. Anyway, but
That's
yeah,
fine.
I was a little disappointed in that conversation.
It is a little disappointing. But not being able to read and not being like, what else does he do? Like, what else does he fill his time with? That's the, like, I don't want to judge. I don't want to judge, but like, find that thing. Like, for me, reading really feels good, and I'm just like, okay. I sometimes have to put my alarm off because I don't want to interrupt myself in my reading, but I know that I'll just, So that's something
I
that's
usually
enjoyable.
fall asleep, so.
I do sometimes at night, but then sometimes I try to do it to fall asleep and it doesn't work. But it's like, whatever. Okay. Then visualization is another thing in the now. where you
that's
visualize,
a great one. Yeah.
Yeah. So like visualize positive stuff.
Yep.
Because you can do that. You're free to do that. Like, even if you're worried that like crappy stuff is happening, visualize good stuff.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that. I think that that's important.
I think it's very important. I like visualization. Like, I think that like makes things happen. It makes you see the possibilities.
It can be a little future trippy.
It can
if
be,
you're not
but,
careful.
but yes, there's a difference between future tripping and visualizing. And visualizing is kind of trying to control the now to meld into your future, which I think is fine. Because like when you visualize, like, you're setting up that roadmap of how your now is going to become the desired future.
Yeah.
Knowing that, like, we had the episode on change where, like, nothing is certain except that. Okay.
We also had
knowing
the
that
episode on
things-
vision boards. So this is like a merge of vision
We're
boards
merging
and
it. We're
yeah.
merging it now.
it's a merge.
We're merging it.
It's a
now.
mergery.
It's a mergery now.
But it's not. It's a merger. That's what it's called. It's not a mergery. It's a merger.
It's a merger. It's a now merger. Here's another fun thing is like the positivity. Like we said, to like visualize, be positive, be kind, be good. Do like, and then you don't worry as much about what you're now or your
You just
future
made
is
me think of a Prince song. He has a song called Positivity. Have you had your plus sign today? Positivity.
See, there you go. We're gonna have to find that now.
Yeah, look up the Prince song.
Okay,
Positivity.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
Have you had your plus sign today?
I like that.
Yeah.
See, so that, and Prince is like, okay, we love Prince.
It's on the Love Sexy album if you're looking to find it.
We like Prince a lot. it's not like, I think people think of Prince and they don't think high art, but it's
Oh,
so enjoyable.
Talk about
So
in the
enjoyable
moment.
in the moment.
Yeah.
So there was another thing that they have in this list of things that you should do to enjoy your now.
Yeah.
Schedule in like your guilty pleasure stuff. Guilty pleasures, your donuts, your music that's like not, you know,
Yeah.
that's fun. Your favorite TV shows, all of that is fine. Schedule them so that you know that you have an in the now moment waiting for you.
It's
like that
this little
feels great.
self-indulgent,
Yes,
gluttonous
I love that.
behavior
I love it.
that
Yes.
keeps the juices flowing.
Keep the juices flowing. So that's what it is. It's like making yourself happy in the moment, in your now, is going to make those creative juices.
Positivity.
Exactly. There you go, you guys. I think that,
I think we completely.
I think that we completely spoke about the now.
Yeah.
We were in the now, and now we're kind of moving towards the future, I think. We're like...
We're hoping there is a future for us.
There's such a future for us. We're gonna we can later talk
Future
about
tripping.
I think we're gonna talk one of these days about reverse engineering your success as a creative. So we can talk about that someday. But today we are done with our.
We're done. We're done with happy
Now,
hour.
We're done with happy
going
hour.
into the rest of our life.
We
right
sure
now.
are. There we go.
Cheers.
Cheers to you with our empty glass. Yay.